For the first time in 2 years, since Wagner's mutiny in June 2023, I saw Russian President Vladimir Putin scared. Well, it's about time. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin, welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, you will not find any BS, lies or propaganda here. You will find truth, common sense, and logic, and emotions too, because hey, I am a human being after all. Friends, I have quite an interesting message today. It's about Iran and Israel war, and now it's about American war as well. The biggest topic of the last 2 weeks obviously has been the war in Iran, between Israel and Iran. You know, not like it was unexpected. We all saw it coming for a very long time, and hopefully, at the end of it, there will be one less boogeyman. Then the world will be a safer place. And let me remind you what has happened in the last 10 days, very briefly. And then I'll talk about how that changes things in Russia and with Vladimir Putin, and why Putin was actually looking uneasy. I take it scared. On June 13th, Israel carried out strikes on Iranian military leadership, nuclear scientists, and military facilities, especially military research nuclear facilities. Iran answered the next day with massive missile strike and Shahid drone strikes on Israel, targeting both military and civil buildings, mostly residential buildings in Tel Aviv. I was covering the attack live in Telegram channel of Inside Russia. Images were pretty bad. They were so bad that I didn't dare putting them on YouTube, but get banned. There were plenty of videos of attacks, and people in Tel Aviv were just filming the attacks. Now, the Iranians were able to hit many targets in Israel on that day, on the 14th of June. For the first time, Israeli air missile defense system called the Iron Dome failed to intercept all targets. Then Israel executed another strike the following day and has taken control over the Iranian skies. Days after days, Israel hit military targets in Iran, especially the facilities of Iran nuclear program. And the damage to the military of Iran, the military force, the military facilities, it has been overwhelming. But the damage cannot be compared to the damage done to the political leadership of Iran. The Ayatollah Khamenei, 86-year-old religious leader of Iran, basically has been left alone. Most of his allies, aides, advisors, army leaders, leading scientists have been eliminated. Obviously, Israeli attack on Iran is a huge political event of the 21st century. But what's even bigger is on June 21st, the USA joined Israel in the war with Iran and used special underground bunker bombs, 6 of them, and finished Iran's most secret underground facility where the nuclear bomb was being developed. At this point, it is fairly clear that Iranian nuclear bomb will not happen, so the world can sleep better now. By its actions, the USA declared war on Iran without official declaration. Donald Trump let the bombs speak. He let the bombs declare the war. In this hour, Iran is weakened, but it's far from dead. It is attacking Doha, the capital of Qatar, and it carried out strikes on Israel every single day. Only the first one was the most massive, when hundreds of missiles and Shahid drones were released, and now these attacks are weakening. They're just a few missiles here and there. And today is the first day Iran attacked another Muslim state, Qatar. So Doha, the capital of Qatar, is currently under the attack. A friend of mine lives and works in Doha, and he films videos from basically his apartment or office, and then he sends them to me. It's very clear, very visible how Iranian missiles flying towards targets, and then some kind of air missile defense system is hitting them. I will post the videos in my Telegram channel again. I don't dare show you these images here and videos here. So after the end of the live stream, go and check out Telegram's channel. Be nice if you sign up. I provide announcements of videos that are coming to Inside Russia there, but you don't have to. You can just look at the images. So Iran is saying that it's bombing American military base there, but Iran has really attacked one of the Muslim countries. Saudi Arabia just joined the party by saying that it will support any actions Qatar will take against Iran. Basically, I think Qatar now will declare war on Iran, and Saudi Arabia said it will join. Now, it's going to be a very interesting summer in the Middle East. Well, you know what? Some of you might have heard that what I just told you from the news. I tried to be to give you a brief summary. I'm not telling you anything original here, but I'd like to tell you some other things, and things that you most likely haven't heard of. I would like to tell of Russia's reaction and of Putin's reaction, because usually when I say Russia, I mean Putin. He's the decision maker. But this time it's been a little different. These reactions differ quite a bit. Now, Iran has been an ally of Russia. Iran hasn't joined the international sanctions in 2022. It has supported Russia. Moreover, it supplied Shahid drones and ballistic missiles for Russia to kill Ukrainians. They started doing it right after the start of the war, when Russian army, that was supposed to be number 2 in the world, that was the myth, turned out to be impotent and out of ammo, out of missiles, out of drones. Drones were non-existent back then. So Iran started providing them. It was sending large transport planes to Vnukovo airport. I lived not too far from Vnukovo, and the planes were coming in there. Plane after plane after plane. Besides the weapons, Iran provided Russia the votes in UN assemblies and in generally in the United Nations. It's not like it mattered a lot, but Iran was definitely standing by Russia. Russia has gained a lot. Russia has claimed that it was not isolated and it had different allies, and Iran was claimed to be an ally of Russia. Russia has stolen drone designs. Well, I shouldn't say stolen. I should say back-engineered the drone designs and started producing the Shahid drones domestically in Russia. Right now, most of the drones are produced in Russian war factories. Even more, on January 17th, Russia and Iran signed a treaty of total partnership. Всеобъемлющее сотрудничество. Now, Russia did not expect Israel to strike Iran, at least on June 13th. Israel caught Russia by surprise. Putin was very surprised, even shocked, when Israel attacked Iran. Russian intelligence failed again. Despite being shocked, Russia didn't do anything to help Iran. At first, rumors started appearing that Russia would grant asylum to Ayatollah Khamenei. Go figure. Anyway, Russia kept silent, and the leadership, well, if you can call it leadership, the regimes really went more or less silent. But if you want to know what really is happening inside the Kremlin and how Kremlin reacts to certain events internationally and domestically, always look at Russian propaganda. Always. It lets you learn of the direction of Russia's politics. You just have to know where to look. And the message the propaganda started sending all over was very surprising. Instead of supporting Iran and saying, well, you know what, that's Russia's ally. It's been supplying Russia weapons, drones, missiles. It's been helping Russia in the United Nations. It's been, we signed a treaty, and by that treaty we're supposed to support Iran. Instead of all that, the top propaganda figures, they started getting distanced from Iran. They started asking, well, first we're gonna figure out, are they really, truly friends of us? And then if we really figure out that they're friends, then but hey, look at Iran, they're always playing their own games, and, before doing anything, we must think, we must analyze. That is the reaction I started picking up from different media personalities in Russia, in the officials, so it's kind of the same thing. And then something happened that kind of made me wonder what the heck was going on. For the first time since June 2023, Vladimir Putin looked scared. On the 19th of June, at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, a massive event that happens in St. Petersburg once a year and that Putin usually attends it, and then speaks at the forum, he gave an advice to the Ukrainians, to the Ukrainian leadership. He said that Ukrainians needed to sit down at one table with the Russians and start negotiating the compromise. And when he was saying that, he didn't really look that happy, okay? And when Putin doesn't look happy, when something happens to him, and then he looks a little off, it means that the reality is much worse than it seems. This guy likes to appear to project powerful, to project confident, to project strength. And when he says something like that, it means that, oh boy, there's something wrong in the kingdom of Denmark. I always make this mistake. I say the kingdom of Dutch, and then people say it's not Dutch, it's Denmark. Anyway, so Putin didn't look so happy. He didn't look so enthusiastic, so confident. First question when you hear Putin saying something like that is this: Vladimir, what the heck is going on? You just had the 2 negotiations with the Ukrainians. You sent your representative Medinsky twice. And both times, Russian delegation, Russian group acted like clowns. They did not negotiate. They just presented unreachable requirements. Basically, all negotiations were Russia presenting Ukraine an ultimatum. You have to give up the lands by yourself voluntarily that we have been trying to capture for the past 3 years and have not been able to do so. So, what kind of negotiation is that? And the second meeting took place on June 2nd, not too long ago. And that's it. Case closed. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, Putin comes up and says, oh, wait a second. Let's really negotiate. Let's sit down. We're ready. Okay? Now, why there's such of a change? It's just Iran. It's just a country far away. Yeah, it's a part of the Middle East. Yes, it's mighty powerful. But hey, it's not Russia. It's not Putin's power, right? Iran is freaking him out. Vladimir Putin, well, it's not just Putin. Iran is a state with a solid power. It's a totalitarian state. Not even authoritarian, it's a totalitarian. Very solid power. For 46 years now, the Ayatollahs and the military, I don't really know how to call them, gangsters or military the government officials, they have been holding power, usurping people, and they have done it brilliantly. They have withstood through all the international sanctions, and the whole world has been hitting Iran with the sanctions since the 90s. Iran has weathered off all international pressure. It has gone through huge domestic protests and survived. It has survived. Until recently, Iran had appeared as strong as ever. The Ayatollah and his crew had people under complete control. And that's how Putin saw Iran. No political instability. Recently, a president of Iran died in a helicopter crash, and a new president stepped in peacefully, without any protests, without any political fight. Everything went fine. And that's what Vladimir Putin needs. He needs political stability. In Iran, Russia, compared to Iran, is a green, young state, a youngster, a kindergarten kid, compared to Iran. Iran's been there for 46 years. Russia's been there for 4 or 5, not that long. Putin started usurping power in 2011, but recent years have been incredibly bad. So Putin and his regime, compared to the Iranians, are just kids. That's why he always looked at Iran as a rock of stability. And now, in front of Putin's eyes, Iranian regime is crumbling. Just a few days, Putin spoke at the forum on the 19th, and Israel carried out strikes on the 13th. So, just a week prior, Putin delivered that advice to the Ukrainians. He was talking to the Iranians, and everything was absolutely fine. How do I know? Well, it is not a secret that Russians kept constant communication with the Iranians. Just a week prior, everything seemed fine. Everything seemed normal. Everything seemed like the example of stability. Putin was sitting in front of his, computers, telephones, and he was thinking to himself, look, I want the same country as Iran. This is my goal. I want to rule for 46 years. I want to be Iran. And then, just like that, Iran started falling apart. And it was clear just in 3 days that the regime of Iran took a tremendous hit. That's why Putin, it's not even a matter of being upset, it's a matter of being scared. That's why he's scared. Because if it could happen in Iran, it certainly can happen in Russia. Just a few days, 3 days, just like that. Today, everything seems solid, and tomorrow, everyone runs. And it's not like it hasn't happened in Russia. Remember, June 2023, Wagner mutiny. One of Putin's dogs, Prigozhin, the owner of ЧВК Wagner, and it was really ЧВК, the private army belonging to Vladimir Putin. It was his private army. And the guy that he placed in charge had a mutiny against him. The guy rose and started, well, the ЧВК Wagner, the private army Wagner, was in Ukraine, and all of a sudden it moved back to Russia through the border. And on the way, there was one border patrol guy. He stood in front of, 1,000 fighters and basically said, "And who are you? I'm not letting you into Russian Federation." And they murdered him right then. They moved on. They came to the city of Rostov-Don, which is, 40 miles away from the border with Ukraine. And without a fight, they captured the city of Rostov. They captured everything, the airports, the military base, a few of them. They captured the army HQ. They captured the KGB, the federal police, everything. And it happened just like that. And we remember that's the last time Putin was scared. He addressed the nation. Anyway, he's lived through this experience already. And now Iran crumbled, a much stronger state, much more solid totalitarian power, crumbled just like that. So, Putin is scared. Now I want to tell you what's happening now. 10 days after, when there's war growing in Iran, but it's not just Iran and Israel any longer, it's the USA. We are waiting right now as I speak if Qatar will join the war, and then Saudi Arabia might jump right onto this train. And if that happens, Iran is done within a matter of days, perhaps hours, okay? Because it cannot wage such a war. But anyway, before I jump to now, I'd like to take this opportunity to sip a little bit of this wonderful English breakfast tea. This area of any live stream or video is called mid-roll. So I'd like to, that's where usually the creators add the sponsorship segments. Well, my only sponsor is myself. I sponsor Inside Russia. So instead of talking about the sponsor of this channel, I would like to thank you. Thank you everyone who's watching right now, who is a part of Inside Russia community. Thank you for being part of Inside Russia. Thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, for interacting. Thank you for including me as a part of your life. Thank you for the messages, for prayers that you send for me and when you pray with me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the coffees you buy me at Buy Me a Coffee, at Patreon, for PayPal. I give you a promise that despite being demonetized by Google, and it's going on to a year now, despite for not earning anything from this channel, from Google, I continue my stand against Russian government, against unfairness, against the war, against propaganda, and I continue telling you the truth. You have my word on that. Thank you so very much. Now, what's happening in Russia today concerning the war in Iran? two major events I'd like to speak about. Russian Z community, so-called Z patriots, those who are incredibly aggressive and incredibly aggressively supporting the war in Ukraine. They're going nuts. Absolute nuts. They are blaming Russian leadership for being weak, for not helping Iran. They're claiming Iran is the only friend that Russia has. They are personally attacking Donald Trump, calling him names. They are proclaiming that they are mistaken. They thought Trump was a Russian man, but that he turns out to be a backstabber. And he backstabbed Russia, and then Russia is backstabbed again. And they absolutely love this talk about how Russia getting backstabbed time after time, and that's another time. I'm going to make a live stream day after tomorrow about Z people, what they're talking about. I'm just going to quote. I'm going to take 15 Z patriots, Vayenkory, and I'm going to quote what they write in their Telegram channels. That's an alternative media these days, alternative propaganda, and I love it. I love reading it and seeing how the mood changes. Now, that's the true information that comes out of propaganda, because all the media personalities that are in Moscow on big channels in front of TV cameras, that reach pretty much all Russian homes, they are just reading scripts. Those people who are in the front lines or near the front lines, they have certain degree of freedom and they have emotions running all the time, okay? So they are strongly against the United States again. Remember, not too long ago, about 4 months, they were praising Donald Trump, saying, our man in Washington, they should have watched Inside Russia, because I knew better, I was telling them. And now they have turned 180 degrees and saying a backstabber. He lied to Russians. He pretended he was our man, but then he turned out to be the butcher of Iran and so forth, So the propaganda, the official propaganda, is not as vocal, and it is downplaying. It is sending Russians this vibes of calm. All right, it happened, but there are two sides of it. We should look at both sides. Okay, what America did to Iran, what Israel did to Iran is bad, but we really have to look whether Iran has been our friend or not. And Vladimir Putin came out and said that those who bring up this partnership agreement and saying that how come Russia is not helping Iran militarily, they are instigators. They need to be dealt with, because Russia had no obligations to help Iran military-wise. Okay, it's pretty lame excuse to me, but that's what Putin said. And right now, as I speak, Putin is conducting an emergency meeting with Israel's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi. And Iran is asking for help. I think Iran is begging for help at this point. The meeting has been going on for a few hours, and this guy, Abbas Araghchi, he brought personal message from the Ayatollah to Vladimir Putin. And of course, they're not talking about what is being discussed. And obviously, one thing is obvious, Iran is begging for help. But what help can Putin and Russia really offer Iran right now? Weapons? I don't think so. Because, first of all, Russia does not possess any weapons on its own. It relied on the weapons coming from Iran not too long ago. And right now, it's not producing enough weapons to maintain the war in Ukraine. Even if it did have enough weapons, imagine shipping weapons to Iran. It would take quite some time, days, perhaps weeks. And Israelis and the Americans, of course, they would be tracking and destroying all the weapons coming from Russia. So Vladimir Putin is not going to do that. Can't, and he wouldn't do it if he could. I think that what Iran is asking right now is direct intervention. Shooting down Israeli airplanes, shooting down, perhaps sending missile defense systems, which, again, Russia doesn't have. In Russia, Putin will not do that. I mean, that would be an insanity on his side. Well, what Vladimir Putin has done, he announced that the provoked aggression against Iran is inexcusable. And the United States, not Israel, but the United States, by bombing Iran, broke all the international laws, and Russia is strongly against that. When I read the statement, I was like, wow, dude, you really are a bold guy, okay? You are saying that after Russia did an incredible strike to Ukraine and it started waging the war, and it's been killing people and bombing Ukrainian land for, 3 years now. Every day, 3.5 years. And after that, the Americans, well, at least they had a courtesy to warn the Iranians to vacate the premises they're gonna bomb. And after that, Donald Trump said it's going to be just one-time event, and he warned the Iranians about that, right? And then Putin is announcing that this provoked aggression against Iran is inexcusable. Come on. Well, anyway, that's the only answer. That's the only help that Russia has given to Iran, making this statement to the international community. And it is calling for a meeting at Security Council in the United Nations. Well, good luck with that. What do Iranians think of Russians? I'm going to read you something. I'm going to, there is, no, apologize. There is something that I found in Iranian Telegram channel of, official Telegram channel of that defenders of the Islamic Revolution, okay, this secret police of Israel, of Iran, of course, Iran. Anyway, this is a statement that pretty much explains what Iranians are thinking about Russians right now. Dirty nature, I quote the defenders of the Islamic Revolution. Dirty nature of Russians and their multiple backstabs in these difficult days. It is the problem that we warned about again and again. We brought such people as Dugin to the Arbail's pilgrimage. Arbail. This is a famous pilgrimage in Iran. Al-Arbail pilgrimage. And if you search the internet right now, you will see the materials such as the new end of times and other nonsense that Dugin was selling to our highest leadership. It's still there in internet. But when our darkest day came, they left us, betrayed us. That is the dirty nature of Russians. I unquote. This is what the defenders of Iranian revolution have to say about Vladimir Putin and his leaders and Dugin and, everyone who is basically running and ruling Russia right now. Now, what's going to happen? Over the last few years, Vladimir Putin has built a certain political and military space around him. Well, inside and outside Russia. And outside that political space included Syria, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, a little bit, and surprisingly, 2 European countries, Hungary and Slovakia. He has succeeded building the space. It took him over 3 years after the start of the war, and he went through incredibly hard times. We all remember that he was near defeat and in the late 2022, but he has succeeded. He won. And Donald Trump handed Putin the victory by legitimizing him and talking to him as an equal and asking him to sign, to reach peace with Ukraine. Instead of pushing him as a leader of a strong country would, Donald Trump handed the victory legitimacy and cooperation, okay? And Vladimir Putin has taken that and turned it into the victory. And he has showed that victory to the rest of the world. And that's what I have talked about recently quite a bit. May 9th, the V-Day parade, the victory was shown to the world. 27 presidents of countries, big and small, important and unimportant, came to shake his hand to say, Vladimir, we see you. You are the leader of Russia, the legitimate leader. We don't care what's going on in Ukraine. We're here in Moscow, shaking hands with you, making friends with you, eating and drinking with you. And that was China, among other countries, Brazil, Slovakia, Hungary. No, not Hungary. Serbia. But anyway, there's quite a few countries, right? And all was well for Vladimir Putin. And one thing is needed for him to remain on the very top. That thing is the political stability. The political landscape, for as long as it is unchanged, as long as it stays the same, Putin is all right. He has total control over the domestic issues. His secret police is among the best in the world, the toughest in the world. His army is obedient, at this point at least. People not even considered a threat any longer. The people are completely under control. But he doesn't have control over the international issues. He lost Syria recently, and that was a huge hit. And now he's losing Iran. He's losing weapons, and he's losing allies. And that is the only thing that might change the situation for Putin. The rumors have it that right now there is chaos among Iranian senior political leadership. Ayatollah is a very old man, he's 86, and it is not clear what's going on in his head. And there are different political groups that are conspiring against him right now. We might see a very swift regime change in Iran. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know when, but it will happen. Perhaps matter of hours, perhaps matter of days or weeks or months, but it will happen because the previous regime is cracked, okay? The same thing can happen in Russia. The same thing can happen with Putin. When he gets weak, there are groups in Russia, different power clans, different power groups. And I'm sure when the time is right, they will rise up, they will make a deal of some kind between themselves, or they will fight and the strongest one would win. And they will come knocking on Vladimir Putin's door. Just like they are coming for the Ayatollah. And that is a real threat to Vladimir Putin. That is he was scared on June 19th, telling Ukrainians, giving them an advice to sit at the table with Russia ASAP, as if the previous negotiations just recently didn't happen, to sit down and start a real compromise. Now, start finding real compromise, okay? That's why that he thinks of Iran, I think every second right now, because he knows that power, sooner or later, time comes when it leaves you, and it's about to leave the Ayatollah of Iran, and it will leave Vladimir Putin sooner or later. But that might be an alarm for him. Someone is ringing the bell. Now, thank you so very much. It's been my message. I will keep you informed of what's happening in Iran, and I certainly will keep you informed of what's happening in Russia concerning the situation in Iran. Before I turn the live stream chat on, we don't have that much time today, about 20 minutes. I will try to answer as many questions as you throw at me. Well, as many as I can that you throw at me. I don't really have much time. It's been a pretty complicated message. But before I turn the live stream chat on, I would like to remind you of Formula 54. If you want to stay informed of everything that was going on in Russia, I remind you that every single day I select 9 news that I find important and make them available to patrons of Inside Russia at patreon.com. 9 news every day, 6 days a week, 54 news every single week, and 5 daily snippets. I call a daily snippet as something that I find important about Russia, more than the news, less the live stream. I feel it helps those who are interested to know what's happening in Russia and with Russia. So, if you wanted to stay on top of things Russia, didn't know where to look for the information, now you do, consider subscribing to Patreon of Inside Russia. Thank you. The live stream chat is on, and I'm ready to... Please let me know what you think. Little personal update before I start answering questions. I was going to visit Israel, to visit U.S. Embassy today on the 23rd. My daughter Oля was supposed to be there to renew the visa. Well, it didn't happen. Obviously, Israel is still closed and the U.S. Embassy is closed. I'm staying in Uzbekistan until Thursday. I'm going to be away in transition Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and coming back on Sunday. So every single day, except for those 4 days, I go in front of the camera, do live streams or videos. So keep that in mind, and please keep on tuning in. And the live stream chat is on. And let me just tune in myself. I usually open the live stream chat in a pop-up window. It's much easier for me that way. If you're here for the first time, I would like to remind you that Inside Russia is the best community on YouTube and perhaps on the internet, perhaps in the world. Thanks to the help of the moderation team, the moderators, Lorna, Mommy S, Mommy K, Bob S, Harry Potman, Amir Fazat. Thank you so very much, friends. Thank you for coming every day and, tuning in and helping me out. This community is awesome. And thank you, the usual suspects, for coming and being a great part of Inside Russia. Thank you. Be nice to each other. Please, no insults and no discussing U.S. politics. We don't like it and we don't allow it there. Here. So thank you so very much. Friends, one more thing. If you want me to see your message easier, please put it in all caps and put Inside Russia after @ so it appears highlighted in a large orange box. Again, please, right now, if you haven't liked this message, please do so and let me know what you think. I would love to hear the feedback. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, leitmotif, I'm going to be reading the messages that I put in all caps or highlighted in orange. Leitmotif, Deborah from sunny California. Deborah, you changed your name, right? I don't recall your last name, but now I see it. So, Koshkin Dom, howdy. Per Haglind from Stockholm, Sweden. Lilith Eden, good to see you. Renata Kuhn, Jodes, Angela, Jen, Larry Barth from Canada. Werner with the first question, as usual. Inside Russia, what about China in all it? They need a calm world economy to keep going with low oil prices, and they still remember the Amur annexation of 1860. Well, there are two questions here. Amur annexation of 1860 is completely different story, right? And China's take on current situation. Well, I have personally haven't heard anything from China. Well, China has been silent, and it is a normal reaction from China when an event happens like a war. Remember Russia and Ukraine. Remember China keeping silence, seeing what happens next. Right now, basically, China is waiting, monitoring the situation closely, and waiting what happens next. The Ayatollah, what happens to Ayatollah? Will the regime fall? Will the USA get involved? Will the Arabic states get involved? And the more information China has, the better decision it'll make for itself. So that's what's going on. China is silent, and of course they still remember Amur annexation of 1860. And I've said it many times. They're waiting. They're waiting. They're going to take their land back, saying, "Hey, you tried to take Ukraine back, but you are the ones who said it's historical fairness to take the land back. Well, we're doing our historical fairness, and that's Manchuria. That's how it's called, the region of Russia. We are claiming it back." That's what they sooner or later they're gonna say. Sam the Legend K, howdy. Lorna, great to see you. Bob S. Harry, thank you, friends. Okay. Terry says, great job today. Thank you so much. Terry, you always support me. I don't remember one live stream that you missed or one live stream that you haven't said, he did a great job. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. John Panozzo, hello from Las Vegas. Thank you, friend. John, good to see you. Say hello to Las Vegas for me. I love the place. Been there a few times. Oh boy, I wish I could visit just for a day. I bet the place changed. The last time I was there, 2001. Tarpon Springs, Florida. G Coffee 613, howdy. Crazy from Germany, Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Thank you. Will Russia supply nukes to Russia? GQ1. You know what? I think you're right. I think Russia will supply nukes to Russia, and then Russia will take it back and supply nukes to Russia again, and then they keep on supplying each other, like in circle. Russia to Russia, to Russia, to Russia, back and forth to Russia, So I think they're gonna do that, SVR, good to see you from Switzerland. Seika, US Embassy is not the safest place to be now. Well, first of all, we cannot get to Israel. The airspace is closed, and the second is U.S. embassy is also closed. Uh, Michael, happy to see you. Hope you keep your dream on. The moment it dies, the, that would be the moment when I become very unhappy. Yes, I do keep my dream on. Thank you. Last week I did not stream much. Emergency meeting after emergency meeting after meeting attorneys, support team, doing some research. Oля, Natasha, and it was a madhouse here. Okay, so couldn't stream much. Now, Terry, what day you will be doing the Z stuff? Now, tomorrow I plan on doing the dedicated live stream about St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, and perhaps on Wednesday I will do the Z stream. Okay, and then I will release a video because I'll be away on Thursday and Friday. I will release a video on the latest economic developments. It's not going to be a live stream, it's going to be a video. Okay, so that's the schedule. At least that's what I say. See, friends, please, it might change because if something happens tomorrow with Olya's visa, situation, and I would have to be in a meeting with attorney, I'd cancel the stream. Sorry, but that comes first. The problem is that our attorneys are in the USA, and we can start meeting them only at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and on, because of the time difference. And then I cannot stream in the morning, unfortunately. Elsha, thank you so much. Very hopeful stream. I know. Things can change on a dime, turn on a dime. Philip Payne, thank you so much. Cheers. Terry Carter from Pulaski, Virginia. Bit warm here, 89 degrees. 102 Fahrenheit in Tashkent today. And we had a power outage for 2 hours, no air conditioning. Once electricity shuts off in the middle of a day, you start feeling temperature rising literally a couple minutes after, and you start feeling it with your skin. That's how it feels here in Tashkent. I'm still sitting here sweating, if you noticed. Andrew from South Africa, to my favorite war correspondent. Thank you, Andrew. I don't really consider myself war correspondent. I consider myself Russia correspondent. Telling you how Russia is changing, monitoring transformation that the country is unfortunately undergoing. Shiva from Belgium, howdy. Bogdan tests software. Could any of your history in the US help you or Oля for the US visa? No. They don't even ask. They don't care. They just... The US immigration, or actually visa, F1 student visa, it's not immigration. It's not handled by US CIS. It's handled by the State Department. And those people were pretty rough and tough and bad before, in my days. Now they're just... I tell you what, I wish you don't have to go through the US State Department coming to the United States ever. I hope you have like US passports or whatever. They won't bother you. But if you have to go through them, oh my God. If you go to get your visa issued, my daughter was denied in Uzbek embassy twice. Perfect case, all papers in place, one of the best schools in the United States. Enough money, evidence to show that we can pay for her education. She was denied twice, and the second time the council just was laughing at her face, saying, "Why'd you come back?" And she came out crying, and then 10 international students, Uzbek students, were denied visas, and 3 or 4 of them were repeated F1 applicants, meaning they were coming back from second or third year in their college. Imagine finishing 3 years in a U.S. university, coming to renew your visa, and that has to be done every year, and they just deny you. What do you do? So perhaps someone could write a letter of recommendation towards your character. Well, it's for Oля, not towards mine. I am appealing the decision of, I was denied as well, but we have 2 very good attorneys, a team of attorneys, and those guys are the best. If I follow their advice, if they say that a letter of recommendation could be useful, trust me, I would get it. But no, unfortunately not. Sorry about ranting about U.S. immigration. By the way, we are going to do a live stream on Wednesday before live stream here at Inside Russia. I founded a non-profit organization called Brain Drain Unlimited Foundation, and we help Russians and Ukrainians find new home in the United States. Okay, and that's how I know my attorneys. We have this organization has a different channel, web YouTube channel, and me and Manos, the co-founder, my friend from Philadelphia, we're going to be talking more about immigration, the process, how immigration into the USA works, and it's going to be a live stream day after tomorrow before my live stream. So we're gonna make it around noon Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be interesting. I'm going to give a link posted in the community section, so please check it out. Benjamin Vandernoot, good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am the warrior. You need a friendly lawyer to help you with a ripoff, and maybe someone else to review that you might change in order for YouTube to pay you. Well, I'm thinking legal actions right now. Discussing it. I would go for a class action suit with other ripped off streamers. Well, I haven't thought of that far, but I have definitely spoke to an attorney, and I have a very friendly and very qualified attorney. Eds Miller, when Belarus falls, joke now, but as they say in Russia, each joke has a part of joke. I think Belarus will fall after Russia. Lukashenko will stay in power longer than Vladimir Putin. For how long, I don't know, but because he is so much better at navigating. He's been in power for 31 years now. Okay, that one of the most successful dictators in human history. Yes, I know. Jodes, it's from Hamlet, but I used to say something rotten in a kingdom of Dutch, because Russian, Denmark, and Dutch is very similar. So I used to say that, and then every time people would say, "Oh, come on, Kasi, you should know better." Something in rotten in the kingdom of Denmark. Pat Holland from California coast, howdy. Trucker Yano, long time no see. I'd like to highlight the fact that current Iranian regime with never-ending revolution was propped by another regime with never-ending revolution. All right. Thanks for highlighting. I don't know history of Ayatollah revolution in '79 well enough to discuss it. Thank you for giving us heads up. Philip Dobriak, as a Slovak citizen, I'm ashamed because we have Fico as Fico, not Fico, as prime minister. In one way, he said, "No weapons to Ukraine, gifts like $300, but no problem with weapons sale." As far as I understand, Slovakia and Hungary just blocked the 18th package of the sanctions that European Union is trying to pass against Russia. Friend, welcome to the club of the ashamed citizens. I am the founder of it. All right, it's 21 minutes. Just give me a couple more minutes, mods, and we will finish off with a prayer. Benjamin, I heard crude oil prices dropped a lot. Heard about it. Bad for Russia. Not only have I've heard about it, I've talked about it tremendously. That's uh, that's one of the biggest news in the last couple months. Okay, that's huge. Yes, but now oil prices are going up again because of the war in the Middle East. Apologize. Here we go again. Happy, happy, happy. Howdy from Estonia. I try to follow news from Russia very closely for obvious reasons, and your content helps me a lot. Thank you, friend. That's what I do. Thank you so much. Carlos Enrique Salas, as a Venezuelan, it's so pleasant to me seeing the allies of Venezuelan regime falling one by one, Putin included. If Venezuelan regime falls before Putin, how would he react? I think the same way that he's reacting right now. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how he would react, it wouldn't change anything. Kev Sullivan from Omaha. My uncle Jim worked for General Dynamics in Pakistan when Pakistan purchased F 16 fighter jets. I bet Middle East countries don't want Russia weapons right now. You're absolutely right. In the kingdom of Denmark, crazy, not in the state of Denmark. Am I right? Tracariano, also in 1980, Saddam Hussein was West's ally in Iran-Iraq war. Yes, he was, and I think he was even buying U.S. weapons. I remember one of the top officials from George W. Bush administration when he was much younger, actually, meeting Hussein and shaking hands with him in Iraq, in Baghdad. Oh boy. Dustin, do you miss cold weather with hot sun? No, 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 I do not miss. Every time I get outside and 100-degree weather, 100-degree Fahrenheit, which is what, like 38, 39 degrees Celsius, and I go, oh my God, I'm so happy. I love heat. I grew up in Rostov on Don with a weather similar to Tashkent. I love it. Love it. It's just one thing I hate is sleeping in heat. So as long as I have AC and it's, fairly not as hot at night, and I'm absolutely happy about that. Glad you got coughing under control. Well, Terry, I'm still not 100%. All right, friends, a couple more questions, and that's it. Lorna, thank you for reminding. I am Siegfried. Will you be speaking about the definition of the vertical of power again? Most likely. I mean, it's one of those things you can't really avoid when you talk about Russia. I've missed the last few episodes, so excuse me if you already recently have. I've talked about it, I don't know, a few dozens of times already. But I will, keep on tuning in. I will be speaking again because this is the skeleton of Putin's Russia. Okay, if that skeleton falls, Russia will change forever. Karen Blalak, I'm sorry, dealing with the State Department is such a nightmare now. All US federal departments are now headed by people who are appointed to make them useless. Well, I don't know about the other ones, but US State Department, sometimes it feels like those people are not everywhere, okay, but on many occasions and in many locations, it seems like they don't treat us as humans. They treat us, every one of us, as potential criminal, potential illegal alien, who just, all we want is to run to the United States and cause troubles to America. That's the feeling I get. And yet, those who really want to run into the US illegally and cause troubles, they do that through open border in the south of the USA, okay? That's what I don't understand. We are not the ones to target. An international student paying, I don't know, $80,000 per year, that's an average good US college right now. And you're not letting a person in? Thank God I'm not paying that much, Oля got lots of grants and scholarship, but I'm still paying a lot, and you're not letting a person like that in? Palvia Flex, if Iran falls, what would it mean for Russian drone supply? I don't think it would mean anything this point. It would have meant 2 years ago, not 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in late summer of 2022, when Iran started supplying planes full of drones. But right now, Russians have successfully back-engineered, stole all the drone technology, and they're making tons of drones themselves. I don't think Iran is supplying or was supplying anything any longer. So, friends, there will be a live stream tomorrow. I will try to make the message shorter. It's going to be about St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. Incredible live stream. There are so many revelations from that place. Basically, just to give you a heads up, Vladimir Putin's daughters showed up, and most likely they're going to be made successors. One of them going to be made successor of Vladimir Putin, and she might come soon as a successor. Yeah, I know, that's big. Another thing, and I'm going to do a daily snippet right now, is about how Putin was talking about Russia and about the economy, and his servants, the federal ministers and such, they were, at the same time, they were saying completely different things. Very interesting developments. And again, they are openly warning. They're saying, hey, look, Constantine inside Russia has been saying for years now, and it's finally happening. Well, they didn't mention me, but there's what I've been saying. They're confirming it's happening now, okay? So please, tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting stream. Thank you so much, and I'm taking my prayer book, and I invite everyone to finish this live stream with a prayer with me. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for the love that you've given to our lives. Thank you for the loved ones. Thank you for our families. And please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and safe. Please give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that when they grow up, they will make this world a better place, will never fight in any wars. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, I'm asking you to help Ukraine. Please stop the bloodshed and help all the Ukrainians who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. Answer their prayers, make their dreams come true. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of those people who are responsible for making the decision to stop the bloodshed. Touch their heart and fill it with love and mercy and empathy so they make the decision to stop the war. And please help my country, Russia. Assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords and have Saint Michael in shining armors lead this army of the angels and send them to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country, who we know by their names and by their faces. Have good Russian people um, getting support of your angels to run their country so it's peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling, send them safe travels. Help everyone who is in trouble of any kind, send safety. Please help everyone who is seeking for asylum, running away from evil. Please send good people their way. Help all those who are helping Ukrainians and help the Ukrainians who are currently under Russian attacks. Send everyone safety. Please help single mothers and fathers who are struggling, trying to make ends meet, raising their children. Please help all those who are cold, sick, hungry, homeless, jobless, addicted, depressed, backstabbed, betrayed, crying, going through divorce, cannot see their children enough, who are losing their faith, who are feeling that they have been left behind, left abandoned by everyone, um, who are depressed. Dear Lord, reach out to every single person in need and fill their hearts with love. Let them know that you have not abandoned them, that you're right next to them. You're watching every step they take. You love them. And you're not going to leave them ever. Please have them somehow feel it so their lives become better. Please help everyone in need. And dear Lord, I am asking for the everyone who is watching right now, who is praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's dream and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you for allowing us to come together and pray. I am asking today for some people who need your help. They are Greg, please send recovery and send strength to Greg and his family so he recovers completely and goes to see his family at home. Ron Bozoid, Teresa, Janice, Karsten, Rose Halbert Bronicky, Uli Yun, Lee and Brenda, Daniela Fromm and her family, Ann Larson and Hannah, Jeffrey S. and his family, Katarina Holm, Mark, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Gabing with Gary, Lisa Kumrian, Harry, Terry, John, Linda, Paula, Dennis, Jason, Susie, Tim, Dory, Rhonda, John, Taylor, Wayne, Darla, George, Pamela, Meta, David Porter, his family, and everyone in Chernovtsi, Leif, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner and his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Ola, Dasha, and Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Ron, Liz, Koshkindom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra, Joseph, Millie, Philip, Eileen, Victor, Highwayman, Jeff, Derek, Denise, and Janice and Renate. Please send everyone love, strength, recovery. Reach out and touch everyone's heart so all feel your love and feel better today. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, friends, for coming. Thank you for giving me one more chance to share my thoughts with you. I would like to remind you that you're awesome and you rock, And tomorrow, tune in. But before I sign off, I'm asking you to say out loud, along with me as usual, as loud as you can, the following. Carthago delenda est.